You got to tune to KEXP. It's DJ Mike Ramos out here in our Seattle live room. Very special guest from the 40831, Scowl, Santa Cruz, San Jose. Big up all our Bay Area listeners. Y'all ready? Sweet, let's go. Scowl, live on KEXP. Wow, y'all. That was rad. Thank you so much for being here. All those songs right there were from your brand new record, Are We All Angels? Big headline is, first record on Dead Oceans, some great features in Kerrang in New York Times on y'all that I was reading. And, everybody's mentioning, oh, you guys are label mates with Phoebe Bridgers and Mitski and Japanese Breakfast now. And, casual observer may call it like a change in sound from your past stuff. But anyone that's been listening to your band for a little while, heard hints of that sound, on How Flowers Grow from a few years ago. You had like right at the halfway point, that Seize the So song, kind of like switching it up. Saxophone comes out of nowhere, clean singing on an album with a bunch of screaming. And you're like, okay, yep, I'm definitely down with this. Then you had that Psychic Dance Routine EP, a little bit more into that. And then, definitely not as much of a abrupt change of sound as a lot of people are trying to make it out to be. And just kind of know a little bit, heard a little bit of the answers through the articles and stuff, but wanted to talk about them. What were some of the influences that made y'all want to push a little bit further into this direction, do a little bit more clean singing, a little bit more, slightly different song structures, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it was listening to a lot of pop music and folk music, singer-songwriter type stuff that would naturally be on Dead Oceans, actually. So I would say, like, when it comes to the lyrics and, like, the melodies, I'm heavily inspired by that. But when it comes to the songwriting, this band is so eclectic with our music taste. We all kind of agree through it all, but it's cool because everybody has their own really weird, deep lane. It's a little bit of an iceberg. But a big one for us is definitely, like, 90s alternative, radio rock. Stuff's good.
Oh, yeah. That's absolutely. And you totally hear that, like, on some of these new songs. It's like in this just grand tradition of some of these bands, Bikini Kill, Sleater Kinney, Hole,
Yes.
which are, like, kind of our bread and butter here at KEXP, especially, like, being from the Northwest and stuff. But, and I was also just kind of wanted to, some of the stuff that, in the articles that you were mentioning, and I was like, yes, like the Fall Out Boy influencing the drums. Like,
Big time.
Yeah, Kat, you had, I don't even think it was in an article. I think I saw it on Instagram or something. You had a reel, you were talking about studying Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance's vocal stuff. And I thought that was so cool just because I recently fell in the YouTube rabbit hole of hearing his like isolated vocal tracks and just how much just performance he was doing on all those with his backing vocals and everything. And and I think that's kind of like, why can't, a band who plays hardcore also have fun with stuff like that, especially when it has kind of been a thing for a really long time, like since the, Beastie Boys started as a hardcore band, Bad Brains were playing reggae, even Sky, Mike, we met earlier, he's wearing a Green Day shirt, NorCal, hardcore. Ended up, becoming way poppier than, their roots, but I'm sure they got some hate for it, but, I don't think anyone's hating on them anymore. But, and so going from that, like, when you're kind of going into these new songs, new structures, like, it might be a stupid question, but when do you, like, decide when you're singing, when do you decide when you're screaming? Is it just kind of...
For this record, I actually went into it knowing that when I was going to scream, it was going to be very intentional. And I felt like in previous Scowl releases, I just kind of screamed because that's what I knew to do. But going into this, I wanted the screams to, captivate some level of emotion other than just anger, and screams just sound angry as is. I think we're all into hardcore music because we're a little sad and angry. But yeah, I just wanted to place those screams in moments that felt, deeper than that. And not to say that if those moments also are just angry, that's perfectly fine too. But that's just what my prerogative was.
Awesome. And then, just kind of going back to the hardcore thing. I mean, most of y'all are from Santa Cruz, like South Bay area.
Bay Area, yeah, most of us.
Right.
Northern California, mainly.
For sure. And just want to speak to that kind of like hardcore community down there, just because it seems super rad. Like, early 2020s, you had bands like Drain, Gulch kind of like blowing up, getting like, a lot of national attention. And then even with the national attention, I've just kind of noticed they seem to still stay super grounded, still doing shows with y'all and other people, and seems very like communal, very like, you know, good vibes and stuff. And can you all speak to that at all? Like, I know y'all were in a band together back in the day.
Me and Cole were in a band together, and then we always played with Drain and like the dudes in Gulch. And it was definitely something like, it's very community based. I used to book a lot of shows and like book their bands. And then when we started out, before Bailey joined, like Tim from Drain filled in on bass until we got a bass player. So it's always been something where we've always kind of rode together and always backed each other. And the Bay Area scene is very much like that. And I'm super thankful that I've been a part of it and like have got to experience it. So it's something for sure. Like everyone, it says something about community where everyone just brings each other up.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I had to kind of say that to say this because, you know, obviously it seems like a very positive, you know, like that area, that community seems really positive, but hardcore in general, you know, very male dominated, can be very gatekeepery. And yeah, like I said, it's always been there, you know, Beastie Boys, Bad Brains, even, you know, more NorCal bands like Ceremony, you know, they can come out and make like the L-Shaped Man, this awesome post-punk record, and like be celebrated for it. But then like, you know, some stuff like Turnstile or, you know, Military Gun, some people will talk sideways about their change in sound. And it's almost like this picking and choosing and, you know, of like what to hate on and what flies and what doesn't. And just how are y'all kind of just rolling with the punches? How are y'all dealing with some of the just random negativity?
We just don't care.
Yes.
You just gotta ignore it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
I love
just
it.
keep it pushing, you know?
We just stayed doing our thing, baby.
I love that. See, I hope that like there are kids watching this and they just like see that, because that is what it's all about. It's like, you know, if you're not doing it and having fun, then it's like, why are we even doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, people are so worried about selling out that they can't have fun. But if you're doing something just to like, because you're not having fun, then isn't that like selling out in a way? I don't know. I don't want to say anything that's going to get me crowd killed at the next show I step out to. But
Hopefully, at the next show you go to, you get crowd killed anyways because it's that crazy.
yeah, that's true. Hey, you know,
Just a
I mean,
thought.
that is, especially, you know,
Shift that perspective.
that especially today, because it's like, you know, Seattle shows can be, you know, a little.
Seattle's crazy.
Yeah, you know.
Seattle hardcore rules.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was telling y'all earlier, I managed to catch you at that show Me the Body Jesus Piece tour, and
That was fun.
yeah, just a quick shout out. I only was there because Show Me the Body's manager just randomly invited a few of us DJs here because they ran some numbers, saw that we played them a few times, and I was like, yeah, I'll definitely go to that. Found you there, heard Jesus Piece there, and was like, you know, we really find out about bands like that, so invite us to shows, promoters. And then things like this can happen, right? Win-win. But yeah, I mean, thank y'all so much for coming here. Just one more thing, with a lot like the lyrics and stuff, like, you know, definitely dealing with a lot of heavy themes, and, you know, the features kind of get into it a little bit more. So, you know, don't want to get too crazy. People can go read those.
Yeah.
But any like kind of words of advice for people that are kind of feeling trapped or feeling that pressure to stay the same
Yeah.
when due to other people's expectations of them?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like what we all just said. It's like, you got to keep trucking. You got to keep going. I think a lot of the record is about this kind of fight internally that is like, do I keep going? Do I keep doing this thing? Or do I just roll over and die, you know? Which is heavy and sad, but it's something that I think literally every human being possible can relate to. And so I would say like that final message is just like, you know, allow yourself to grieve, but also let it fuel that rage.
Absolutely. That was bars, Cat, right there. Thank y'all so much, though. Scowl,
Thank you.
live on
Thank you.
KEXP.
Thanks for having
Thank you for
us.
having us.
That was so rad.
Thank you. That was sick.
Yeah, that was really sick. I'm like super energized for the rest of my day now. And
yeah.
the album, Are We All Angels? Thank y'all so much. Go check out the new record. Check them out on tour in your area. And KEXP, peace.
Peace.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.